Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide.
Case number 0001. Hello, parties of interest. Please bite the next person you see on the street, and when they ask you, why'd you do that? Tell them it's the coral fang. Then run. You should definitely run. This will help spread the good word of my channel. Today we venture into the gruesome time of the medieval period. When a period has evil in it, you know it's going to be pretty savage. Dab. I find my character a peasant, and I'm okay with that. Since I've been using the hoe all day, I can surely take someone's head off with one swing. I decide to upgrade him into a battle peasant, because 80% cotton won't cut it in the battlefield. You will get a nipple rub to the point where you'll just ask for a truce just to glob on some Vaseline for the sweet, sweet, tantalizing relief. Mordhau is a beautiful game so far. I believe that's how you pronounce it. We decide to jump into some training so we don't get killed with the first arrow. Like that dipshit. So my instructor is a cussing, brash, unforgiving, self-centered, neglecting asshat. So we're going to name him Mom. When it takes you 6 hours to get groceries and you don't even come home with groceries, moving on. So Mom decides to give me the longest sword I've ever seen, but doesn't give me any direction to not strike him. 95% of you out there will try to strike or shoot your instructor. The other 5% are just evil people who should be thrown in jail. If anything, this tutorial should rule out the psychopaths. Pass, pass, pass. See? Normal. We're off to do some target practice. With the old pastime of trying to kill a man while he's running for his life. Like they say, the most satisfying hunt is hunting a shirtless screaming man with a metal bucket on his head. Now that I have got both of my tips wet, I start to see red. The more violence, the bigger the appetite, as they say. Then I find a more efficient killing tool. I start thinking to my childhood and start to scream, "No more locked doors," as the gate has taken the shape of my home that I grew up in. This carpenter didn't appreciate me criticizing his spotty work like Gordon Ramsay spitting on a lamb bisque. I decided to sharpen my axe with his bone, since my childhood home has dulled my psychiatrist's reinforcement. Pass. See? Mentally stable. The carpenter is handling the blow-by-blow pretty well. So I recommend some underground fight clubs on the outskirts of town. He then agrees for me to be his coach only if I rebuild his gate. I rebuild the gate but refuse his offer, only because I have left that past behind me. I will no longer be a part of the underground circuit. Then I say my name is Robert Paulson. He nods, I nod, then we move on. Now that I have taken the master class of gate crafting, I decide it's time to stain the dirt with the blood of NPCs. My lower class buddy, Catunicycle, decides to join the bloodletting. He shows up shirtless because he's poor in real life and poor in video games. Instead of making fun of his misfortunes and living situations, I decide to show him around Fort Shitsticks. I'm not much of a gambling man, but when you're lost, you'll do desperate things. So I suppress the fast times living in the underpass to be surprised by what appears to be an acorn. I understand this is medieval times, but I can try to use the acorn as a peace offering, like an olive branch. We need to set a base difficulty level for these NPCs first. Then I see the legend Sad Memes cutting down a few bots, like he was carving a Thanksgiving turkey, but a live one that he found in his backyard in February. While putting notches on his belt, I decide to stick with this mercenary of death, Sad Meme. I tried to offer my acorn to the first NPC to find out that it was a napalm coconut instead. Since I made the first strike here, any chance of a tea party is probably off, so I decided to grab the nearest available environmental weapon. After glancing at the fully armored NPC, I can tell he's been programmed only to drink the blood of peasants, so I decide to kick rocks and GTFO. In the corner of my eye, I see the killing machine, which is Sad Memes. So I give out a war whimper. He hears my becking cries and rushes over. He's completely overwhelmed by these soulless devil dogs I have antagonized. I need to help him in some way. So I do the good deed by running away to live to fight another day. I will then avenge his corpse and teabag the NPCs in return. As peasant, I can't afford much, so I'm desperate for a weapon. At this point, I'm thinking about the good times Sad Memes and I had. Then I decide I can't live without my lad. So if he goes down, we go down together. They will write about us as we held hands after our heads are lopped off. I see he has chosen a tactical retreat. I shout for help from anyone in the area who is still alive. There must be something I can do. I can't let this mob take my only friend. I decided to see if I can lure some of them away to give him the space he needs to escape, but I'm cut off. But courage comes over me, like a mom lifting a car off her child. I go on the offensive. I have now just mortally wounded my first NPC. Now that I have some combat confidence, I feel the need to reposition. Also, I'm out of freaking rocks. These guys are heartless Terminators tormenting me with their stride. They know I'm just cornered game at this point and running out of options faster than a last call at a bar. I decide to give the rocks another shot. Since I only have 2 fully armored Jason Voorhees hot on my tail like I'm Pablo Escobar on a clay roof. The rocks aren't doing much but annoying them to death. If I can just buy some time, by the grace of equal pay and social justice warriors, Sad Memes may have survived his horde. Our bond in that brief moment where I looked at him like a proud father as he watched his son hit a ground double in a pee-wee baseball game sparked something in him enough to come save the only father figure he has left. Out of nowhere, a shining night in a dark moment of my existence lit up my heart and the heads of these 2 testicles of murder, Gui Quan Gym, who I will refer to as Chinese Gym for short. Sad Memes' protective instincts ramp up to the category 5 shit NATO and unleashes a hurricane of pain on my attackers. These 2 have collectively decimated these NPCs back to just zeros and ones. I have to calm them down in their blood rage. I could have not been any more prouder in that moment. I was able to buy a new sword, which is a glorified letter opener. I no longer want to be the vulnerable villager. I charge. Chinese Gym is in trouble. I must repay the blood debt. I see my friend Catunicycle lost and confused like an 18-year-old Marine pushing up the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. He's on his own though. The adrenaline kicks in and I'm being rushed. Chinese Gym is raining down arrows, continuing the streak of becoming the man of my dreams. Jim is in trouble. I'm hurt. There's no comrades near. I'm in a duel and remember nothing from the instructor because I was too busy striking him while I was supposed to be listening. I panic. A sense of death starts to creep in. Then I take the room temperature challenge with one mighty strike. As I lay there bleeding, waiting for the sweet release of death, I wonder who will clear out my browser history. What sort of digital data have I created? Should I have sorted out a burn box prior to joining this band of merry men? The battle rages on. With news of my death across the land, Chinese Gym and Sad Memes kicks it into manslayer mode to chop down 30 bots so we advance to the next level. They are no longer men, and I can only see demons when I look at them. Scared of what they become, I decide to guard our camp. The battle starts quick, since I was too busy trying to figure out the dopest threads that will make my homies jealous. I see Chinese Gym is using the fatal funnel technique. He must have The Art of War by Zen Zhu on audiobook. Then I quickly realize that these 2 are protecting me, like a little brother they never had or ever wanted. But since they're stuck with me, they don't want to get in trouble with mom. So I tell them to stay out of my room and let them know that they're not my father. I'm as free as the candy bars at the Dollar Tree when the cashier texts her baby daddy for child support, okay? We put up a good fight until these firebombing Oompa Loompas show up with their napalm coconut. We were not ready for the blitz. We get separated quickly. Chinese Gym is doing the most, so I don't have to live with the guilt of being a murderer. I do what I can, but my Q-tip cosplay headpiece destroyed my spatial awareness. Then I start to question my wardrobe entirely. Then realized Nordstrom is having a 3 points bonus this weekend for card owners. The fire then consumes me while I was contemplating a questionable tank top purchase for the victory celebration. Who knew that cloth and napalm are like the white stripes, fired together but absolutely trashed separately? I start to smell my disappointment as my body is being burned alive. The slow, sweet release of death creeps in. Then I realize my Tombstone Supreme just finished cooking in the oven. Then I wish my lads good luck. Have fun. As I watch their desperate attempts to move on without me, while I enjoy a slice of my deep dish depression. Bernoulli survived the wave by single-handedly executing 40 people. He was then later arrested for war crimes by the UN. Stay strong at that black side, Bernoulli, and remember what happens when you rat. That's my report on this case. This is still an ongoing investigation. Please like, comment, and subscribe to see the next case on Video Games PI.